With so many types of orthopedic shoes out there and every company claiming theirs gives the best support, it's easy to get lost. So I dug through the reviews, checked what real wearers had to say, and pulled together a list of the best orthopedic shoes you can buy right now. And if you find something you like, I'll leave links to all the orthopedic shoes in the description below. First up is the Skechers Arch Fit 2.0 upper hand sneaker, which I ranked as the most affordable. And the first thing you'll notice about these shoes is the support they provide. Skechers designed the Arch Fit insole using 20 years of foot data and over 100,000 scans. It pushes up into the middle of your foot just enough to give you stability, especially if you've ever dealt with balance issues or just like a shoe that feels steady under your feet. Now, if you look at the midsole, it's chunky but not squishy. It's firm enough that you don't sink too deep, but it still has some give. And the base of this shoe is wide, so you don't feel like you're rolling on the side when you walk. And when it comes to comfort, that's where the shoe really steps up. The memory foam insole does a lot of the heavy lifting. It's gel infused, so it contours to your foot, takes pressure off from your joints, and even helps with breathability by wicking away sweat. And here's what Daniel has to say. I've been a nurse for 17 years now, always worked 12-hour shifts. These are actually more comfortable. They are very lightweight, stretchable, and machine washable. And for only $72, that's just crazy cheap for what you get. The quality and comfort outweigh the price. Highly recommend if you're on your feet for long periods of time. Now just keep in mind they are a bit heavier and bulkier than lighter sneakers. So if you prefer something nimble, this might not be it. But for walking, standing all day, or just even light workouts, these hit a sweet spot between comfort and support. Next up is the On Cloud 5, which I ranked as best slip-on, and these caught my attention because of how simple they are to wear. Instead of tying, you'll have elastic speed laces that hold their shape, and once you set them, you just slide your foot in and you're good to go. Now the shoe itself is really light at about 250 grams, and it has a 7mm heel drop. The midsole uses zero gravity foam, and it's not overly soft or bouncy, but it gives you steady cushioning for daily walking or being on your feet for hours. And I wouldn't call it a shoe for explosive runs, but for day-to-day comfort, it does its job. And if you look at the upper, it's 44% recycled mesh, so it's breathable and keeps the weight down. And they've reinforced the midfoot with a thicker material to hold you in. But there's one thing to note about this, and it's that the fit leans narrow. So if you have wider feet, that might be noticeable. As for the grip, the outsole is focused on the forefoot and heel, but the midfoot area doesn't have much traction. So if you're someone who strikes midfoot on slick surfaces, that's worth keeping in mind. Up next is the Brooks Glycerin GTS 21, which I ranked as best for plantar fasciitis. And the reason of adding this shoe in the list is the cushioning. Brooks used nitrogen-infused DNA Loft V3 foam in it, so it feels soft underfoot, but still holds its shape when you move. And for most of us, the balance between too soft and too firm really matters, and this one sits right in the sweet spot. The support of these shoes comes from the guide rail system, and it works more around your heel and midfoot to keep everything lined up. And that's why I thought it worked well for plantar fasciitis. It stabilizes without that nagging pressure under the arch. And another big update on this shoe is the heel design. It's beveled and rounded so the landings feel smoother and not clunky, especially with that 10mm drop. And the transition feels natural. There's even a bit of flexibility up front, which you don't always get in heavy cushion trainers. And the fit is on the wider side now, and especially in the forefoot. That gives you room to move, though the toe box still has a slight taper. And the tongue isn't gusseted, so if you have narrower feet, you'll probably need to snug the laces down. Next is the Mizuno Wave Inspire 20, which I ranked as best for diabetes. And what caught my eye with this one is the cushioning it blended with stability. The shoe uses energy foam, which runs through the midsole, and it'll be a little firmer than some softer foams out there. But that firmness gives you a steadier ride and keeps a touch of bounce. Plus, the wave plate is the actual support system in it. It's shaped to spread out impact across wider area, so instead of pressure hitting just one spot, your foot gets a more stable platform. And the drop is a bit higher at 12mm, which is higher than most shoes these days. But for people with stiff ankles or calf issues, that extra drop takes pressure off and makes moving forward a bit smoother. And that's one reason it works well for diabetes, since you want a shoe that eases strain without forcing the foot to work harder. Now the outsole uses durable carbon rubber, which helps it last longer, even if you're putting in daily miles. And here's what Mark says. So far they are very comfortable and I like the wave feel better on these. Been running for 2 weeks on them, and so far I am liking them more than my previous ones. The toe box is nice and wide, and they've never felt overly tight. Shoe doesn't feel overly tight on the top either. Up next is the Asics Gel Kayano 31, which I ranked as best for wide feet. Now the toe box of this shoe has some stretch and extra width, so your toes have more room to spread out without that pinched feeling. And for anyone with wider feet, that's gonna make a big difference. It has an engineered mesh upper that keeps things breathable, not too much airy, but balanced. And it's cool enough on warm days and not freezing when it's colder. Now around the heel, Asics really went heavy on padding. It wraps around your Achilles like a pillow. And the gusseted tongue and solid heel counter keeps your foot locked in without sliding around. And there's also a pull tab with a little stretch, which makes getting these on much easier. Now the midsole is where the shoe really clicks. It uses FF Blast plus Eco Foam, which is about 20% bio-based material. And it's soft underfoot, but still stable. And combined with the 4D guidance system, it actually helps you into a healthier stride if you overpronate. And in the heel, they've tucked in pure gel, which adds cushioning for softer landings. Altogether, it's a max cushion shoe and still holds its structure, which is rare. Next up is the New Balance 608 V5, which I ranked as best for women. It's technically a cross trainer, but it works just as well for long walks, light workouts, or everyday wear. And the mix of the cushioning and stability in this shoe makes it a versatile option. Now the midsole of this shoe combines soft foam with compression resistance, and that means you get impact absorption without feeling like your foot is sinking. Plus there's a layer of EVA foam which keeps the shoe lightweight but still cushioned. It feels solid under you without being overly stiff, and the outsole uses endurance rubber in the high wear spots. And that helps extend the life of the shoe, especially if you're using them daily. Now the grip is strong enough for the gym, but not overly sticky, so they transition well outdoors too. And the upper is made of leather, which gives the shoe a sturdier feel and makes it easier to wipe down if you want them looking clean daily. Now that does add a little weight compared to mesh trainers, and the leather isn't as breathable, so in hotter climates it might feel warmer on the feet. Now as for fit, most people find them true to size, though the toe box isn't super wide. Good arch support is built in, which is helpful if you're on your feet a lot, but if you need some extra cushion support, then swapping the insole is gonna be easy. Logan sums it up perfectly. They're the best pair of sneakers I've ever owned. I work on my feet for 8 hours, I've done 5-mile hikes in them, and since the beginning they have never hurt my feet. I have flat feet and they're so comfortable. After 2 years they've held up very well. When I first purchased them, the toe boxes felt a little too wide, but I just need to get used to having the room to spread my toes. These are the best shoes and I am absolutely repurchasing them if my first pair ever decide to kick the bucket. But like I said, 2 years in and we're still going strong. Up next is the Hoka Clifton 9, which I ranked as the best overall for women. And Hoka is known for big cushion midsoles, and the Clifton 9 keeps that DNA but trims the weight down. It's lighter than the last version, and they even added about 3mm more to the stack, so you're getting extra cushioning without it feeling clunky. Now the midsole uses compression molded EVA foam. It's soft, but not the kind that bottoms out fast. There's also an early stage rocker built in on the sole, which helps you roll forward more smoothly when you walk or run. And for a daily shoe, that makes transitions feel easier on your legs. Now the upper is a breathable engineered mesh with some recycled content in the mix. It's supportive but not super stretchy, so it holds your foot in place. And around the heel, there's plush padding and a small gusset on one side of the tongue that helps lock you down. The insole is removable, which is nice if you use cushion orthotics. And the outsole has rubber in the high wear spots, but leaves a lot of foam exposed. However, the toe box runs a little narrower than it looks, so wide-footed runners might notice that. But even with this minor trade-off, it's hard to beat the mix of comfort, cushioning, and everyday versatility the Hoka Clifton 9 offers. Next is the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 23, which I ranked as the best value for men. And it's a mid-cushion stability shoe, but the best thing about this shoe is the guide rail system. That means if your stride is normal, it won't affect it, and if your feet move differently, each one still gets support. Now the midsole uses DNA Loft V2 cushioning, and it's lighter than older versions, soft enough for daily miles, but not so squishy that you lose stability. And the upper mesh is a re-engineered mesh with 3D fit print. It adapts to your foot, even if you've got bunions or spots that need a little stretch. And the drop stays at 12 millimeters, which keeps transitions smooth, especially if your calves tend to tighten up. And the fit is also reliable, secure at the heel, and comes in a wide range of widths, from narrow to 4E, which isn't common in stability shoes. And the weight of the shoe is about 10.1 ounces for men, so not the lightest, but steady for the cushion and support you're getting. So for a shoe that's versatile enough for daily runs, long walks, or just standing all day, the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 23 is one of the best value picks for men. Finally, at number 1 is the Orthofeet Hands-Free Tilos, which I ranked as the best overall for men. And what caught my attention in this shoe is the step-in design. You lace them once and you don't need to bend down again. There's a spring built into the heel that flexes as you slide your foot in, then snaps back to hold it in place. And if you're dealing with back or knee pain or just the hassle of tying your shoes every day, then that alone makes life a lot easier. Now the uppers are made from a stretchable, water-repellent fabric. They adjust if your feet swell during the day, and they're easy to wipe clean if you step in something. Inside, everything is soft and seam-free, so nothing rubs against your sensitive spots like bunions or hammer toes. And the wide toe box adds even more comfort by letting your toes splay naturally instead of cramping all in together. And the outsole is slip resistant, so you don't feel unstable moving between surfaces. And the whole shoe just feels lighter than it looks, which makes longer wear less tiring. Now the sizing runs true to size, and the Orthofeet backs them with free shipping, free returns, and a 60-day wear test. And that's all for today. I hope this list helped you choose the perfect orthopedic shoe. And if you find something you like, don't forget to check the description to find the links to all the orthopedic shoes mentioned in this video. Thanks for watching.